Okay, welcome everybody to Kyma Core SIG meeting. It looks like it's going to be a short meeting today. So yeah, the first item on our agenda is about the very waited for and belated Kyma 1.6 release. We finally arrived to Munich after a lot of disturbance, and we had some interesting findings during this release about improving our pipeline. Also about detecting a very nasty regression that showed up at the very last minute, which was more or less spamming our API server. And that was very difficult to figure out. But at the end, we end up with a very nice blog post where you can read more about the new features in Kyma 1.6. It was already introduced before briefly, but the detailed blog is out there. We have a brand new API gateway. We have a very simplified UI for the logging, and we have also micro front ends with optimization for preloading. We are introducing Compass, which is more or less Kyma management components that you probably have seen a brief glimpse about in previous Core SIG meetings. And now we have support for Async API 2 specifications with our rendering component and metrics. And I believe right now we even support auto conversion from Async API 1.0, if I'm not mistaken. We have a troubleshooting guide for the backup documentation, improvement for the documentation installation, and updated Knative eventing versions and Knative eventing 2.08. We are still sticking to staying one release behind Knative. So right now they're in 0.9, we are in 0.8. Next step, we will upgrade to 0.9, unless there is a very strong reason to either stay or jump to the latest. We will be transparent about these decisions, but the general approach is one release behind. Also, there was an introduction for Hydroform for Kubernetes provisioning and Kyma provisioning, some support for better logging, like support for Fluentbit. We have also some enhanced new feature in function controller, which is an experimental controller that you can try for building very right now standalone functions running out of a CRD object. And this is going to be the way to move forward with replacing our kubeless-based Lambda functions with Knative serving-based ones on the cluster. Also on the service management side, so we have service catalog that switch it to the CRD implementation, and also we don't no longer use the GCP service broker that was introduced as a preview mode. However, we use it fully now, I believe. For service mesh, STU was updated to 1.2.7, and I believe there is another version that might land soon in Kyma 1.8, if I'm not mistaken. Stay tuned for it. Yeah, you can read more all the details on kymaproject.io/blog on our website. Next topic is a couple of demos that will be introduced by Michel Hoodie, who also has been taking it on his shoulder to produce some improvement in the overall developer experience for Kyma. And he will start with the very interesting updates about how to have Kyma installed in Kind. Kind is a project that stands for Kubernetes and Docker, and it's a very interesting project that you might check out if you're using Kubernetes locally with Minikube, for example. Michel, I will stop the sharing and you can take it from here.
Okay, so hello everyone, it's Michał from Łukiw's team. Let me share my screen. Okay, the first demo is more, let's say, for the contributors than for someone who just play with Kyma, but it is also interesting because we improve some things during work or on that job. So as you can see here, we have our dashboard when we just show that job that is start Kyma on Kind with all integration jobs. The first thing that you may notice if you are familiar with our Pro setup is that we are generating the JUnit report where you can see all steps that the job is doing with proper times. So for example, you can check how long Kyma installation take or how long the test proceed. And also, if some test fail or step fail, you don't have to scan whole logs of the execution. You just see it here. It is simple but really useful for us as the developers, contributors. The second thing that we have, thanks to the JUnit report, we'll already integrate our PRAW cluster with a test grid. So you can track all tests across the builds. And as you can see here, we have some problems with our infrastructure. But for example, here the integration test failed. What is important, this is just the first attempt for our configuration with JUnit and command kind. So of course we can improve that report, but right now we just wanted to check if it works. During work on that task, we also, as you see, we make improve Kyma that is able to run on kind, not only on the Minikube. And kind is a Kubernetes in Docker solution, and thanks to that, you can have a multiple nodes, not only one as in CAD, but you can have multiple control plane nodes or worker nodes. That doesn't matter. And thanks to that, it is a pure Kubernetes cluster. We found a few bugs in our Kyma charts that we also fixed. So it is beneficial for us. And also, thanks to that, we have simpler testing infrastructure than previously, because I don't know if you know, but previously we used for the Kyma Lite, we used Minikube, and it was provisioned on a virtual machine. Right now, everything is done inside our CI PRAW cluster. The whole configuration related to the Kyma and kind currently is in test infra repository in kind directory. And here you can find the script that also works on your local environment, but it installed the full Kyma with monitoring, logging, and other things. So we need to have a powerful machine, let's say. But we are working on improvements related to that, together with some improvement related to our whole testing infrastructure. So probably later we'll have a support in Kyma CLI for kind, and it will be much more useful than Minikube, I think. Any questions so far? Or everyone understand it?
Yeah, that's fine.
Not question. Okay. So
maybe
yeah.
Do we have some comparison about the time we need
for
kind or Minikube, something like that? Do you know?
Okay. Right now I don't have the proper jobs here, but I made some comparison. And our pipeline that installed Kyma Lite on Minikube took something like around 40 minutes. And the pipeline that installed full Kyma on kind with monitoring parameters and everything and executes even more tests than on Minikube, it was almost 10 minutes faster.
Then half an hour, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, thanks.
So I think there's also another huge improvement in our contribution. Okay, so maybe next topic. If there are no more questions, okay. And the next topic is rendering API specification on Kyma Project IO website. I don't know if you noticed that, but previously when you read documentation on Kyma project website, every time when you have some open API, old name Swagger specification, we just gave you a file that you need to put the Swagger editor on any other page when you can have visualization of that file. Right now, we provide some improvements, but it is all only available on the master branch. So later it will be on release 1.7. But if you, for example, goes to the application connector specification, you will see the new section, API consoles. And if you click it, it will open the new modal with the render of the specification. So I think it is much more useful than going to the Swagger editor and looking for the specification. Any questions related to that? Also, yeah, I forgot about it. In the community section, we create a special guideline that will tell you how to prepare your documentation that will be properly rendered on Kyma project website with the specification. So here you have everything related to that with example. No questions? Okay. So that's it. It was fast.
And how we can add such a spec? To the Kyma
You
project?
just need to create a docs topic with in your repository. For right now, it's only Kyma is supported, and with of course, the Markdown files, and then you need to add the new source type Open API with your source, as in this example.
Okay, and it's for Open API, right?
Currently, we support on Kyma project only Open API, but there's no problem to add more renderers.
Because I think about the Compass and GraphQL in the future.
Okay, so we'll need just to add a renderer for the GraphQL. So just create a feature request, and it should be easy.
Okay, that's great. Thanks.
No problem.
Thank you, Michal. If there are no other questions, we can go directly, since this is the last item on our agenda, to your feedback from the community. If there are any questions or feedback that you guys want to give us. Okay. One more second. Nothing. Cool. Thank you very much. That was quick and short, and see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.